So I currently have 14 stocks within my portfolio. But if I could only have 6 of them, then these are the 6 that I would have. I'm gonna tell you all about them in this video. And I'm also gonna share how I will build my perfect 6 stock dividend portfolio. But before we get to that, then my name is Kasper. And here we strictly talk about investing and financial freedom. So if you really like investing and you want to retire early, well then press that subscribe button below. And also guys, please leave a comment below about what your 6 stock perfect dividend portfolio would look like. Anyways, when it comes to building a 6 stock portfolio, then you're really restricted by the number of holdings that you have. And that makes diversification really hard. However, I've actually tried to go out there and find 6 stocks in very different industries in order to get the best possible diversification as well. The portfolio does also include high yielding dividend stocks and high dividend growth stocks. But the first stock that I would definitely include in my portfolio is Apple. And Apple is basically gonna serve as my exposure to the technology sector. The choice was simply between Apple and Intel, and I just felt like Apple was the best choice here. And when you're looking at the dividend stats for Apple, well then you don't really see anything too impressive. They have a dividend yield of 0.5%, a 5-year growth rate in the dividends of 6.15%, and they have been growing this dividend consistently for the last 10 years in a row. However, when looking at the performance of Apple, then we do see that over the last 5 years, Apple has completely outperformed the S&P 500 index. And if I could only have 6 stocks, then having a stock that is capable of giving these returns is definitely something that I would want. Anyways, the second stock on my list is Johnson & Johnson. And that is just another company that we all know about. And this company is basically giving me exposure to the healthcare sector. They have basically proven themselves again and again to be one of the most steady and reliable dividend companies out there. Just have a look at these dividend stats here. They have a dividend yield of 3.15% and a payout ratio of 44% and a 5-year growth rate of almost 6%. And they have been growing their dividends for the last 61 years in a row. And that is completely insane to think about. And it does officially make them a dividend king. I don't really see any reason as to why this company should stop increasing their dividends. And that does make it a very easy pick for my top 6 dividend stock portfolio. So moving on to the third stock on my list, and here we have an energy company, and that is Exxon, which is the world's largest oil and gas company based on market value. And it is simply one of those companies that you just can't go wrong with when it comes to the energy sector. It is a very mature and a very well diversified company. And even though there is a big focus on green energy, then I don't see Exxon going anywhere anytime soon. They have been investing really heavily into green energy for many years, and they will continue doing so. So I wouldn't be concerned at all when it comes to Exxon. And they do also have some pretty nice dividend stats. They have a dividend yield of 3.64%, a payout ratio of 35%, and a 5-year growth rate of almost 3%. And they have consistently been increasing that dividend for the last 25 years in a row. The dividend stats are looking really nice for Exxon. There is nothing about it that is completely amazing. However, it is a really solid and reliable company. And that is exactly what we as dividend investors want. So the fourth company on my list is also a company that we all know about. And it is also a company that we've all bought products from before. And that is of course Coca-Cola. You can't really have a dividend portfolio without including Coca-Cola. It just feels like they've been there forever. And it is one of the oldest dividend paying companies. And when you're looking at the dividend stats, well then we do see a very nice dividend yield sitting just above 3%, a 5-year growth rate of 3.4%, and they have been increasing this dividend for 61 years in a row, and that is also officially making this company a dividend king. It is one of the most stable and reliable dividend companies out there, and it does also give great exposure to the consumer staples sector, where it is one of the dominating players. So moving on to the fifth company on my list, and here we have a REIT, and that is of course the monthly dividend king, Realty Income Corp, which is giving us a very nice exposure to the real estate sector. Despite their bad performance during 2023, then it has been a really solid real estate investment trust that has provided investors with really good amount of dividends and growth. And when looking at the dividend stats, then we do immediately see that this is a dividend powerhouse. They have a dividend yield of almost 6%, a 5-year growth rate of almost 4%. And that is pretty amazing, considering that they already have a very high yield. And they have also been growing this dividend for the last 25 years in a row. And when it comes to getting exposure to the real estate market, then I simply find this REIT here to be the best one. They have a very nice real estate portfolio, and they are also paying dividends every single month. And that is an absolutely amazing feeling. And that is why this company right here is a really easy pick for my top 6 dividend stock portfolio. So moving on to the last one on my list, and this one is actually not a stock but an ETF. And it is of course my favorite dividend paying ETF, and that is the SCHD, or the Charles Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. Since this is an ETF, then it does include a basket of stocks, and this ETF right here, they have 104 holdings in total, with biggest positions in big companies like Broadcom, Verizon, Amgen, Coca-Cola and so on. They are also very well diversified across multiple sectors, with their largest sector being the industrial sector that accounts for almost 17% of their entire portfolio. So when you're buying this ETF here, you're basically getting a very small ownership in 104 different companies spread across multiple sectors. And it is simply the best and the easiest ways of investing into dividend stocks. And when you're looking at the dividends, well then you do see that they have a dividend yield of 3.7% and a 5-year growth rate of almost 14%. So they are really increasing this dividend here at a very fast rate. And they have consistently been doing this for 11 years in a row. And if I were to pick one investment on my list today, then it would definitely be SCHD, as you're basically getting everything that you want within this one ETF here. However, these are the 6 stocks that I would include if I were to make a dividend portfolio consisting of only 6 stocks. They are all different stocks placed in different industries, and they are all giving a really nice and reliable dividend. That was all I had in today's video. Thank you for watching the video, and if you actually liked the video, then don't forget to press the like button below and subscribe to my channel for more weekly content just like this. See you guys in the next one.